Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. It's a winner's bracket game. A pair of teams that won yesterday. Ole Miss and Florida State. Rebels will be the visitors for this one tonight. SEC versus ACC. Packed house expected. Raindrops have been dodged. The grills are fired up. We're going to hashtag save the kids, and we're going to spice it up. And the hat's on backwards. You're ready to roll. Southern Miss pitched a shutout. Made all their extra points. Eliminated SEMO 21-0. They await the loser. The winner will be just one game away from moving on to the Supers. Hi, everybody. Whatever. I'm Tom. He's not. Here's an Ole Miss team that had a great run in Hoover in the SEC tournament. Mike Bianco gambled a little bit, decided to save his ace, and now not only do they have a win, but they got Doug Nikhazy going tonight.
Guy that has been as good as anybody in the entire country this year for Nikhazy.
Oh, we're starting with Florida State? My bad. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. How about Florida State?
Hey, and we're going to talk about Florida State first. This is a season recap led by yesterday, where they hit 3 home runs. Logan Lacey. 2-run shot that tied it. Hadn't been a lot of Florida State offense to that point. Elijah Cabell looks like he's beat on a breaking ball, but as good a raw power as you see in the entire country, that's enough to carry it out. Gave Florida State their first lead. Then Matthew Nelson ties Wes Clark for the national home run lead. His 23rd was enough for the Noles to win the opener.
Are we not doing season summary, just doing highlights? Okay. And I just assumed we were starting with the visiting team, but that order doesn't matter to me. I just got confused.
So on cam, then I'll go season recap, then tape, then back on cam, Ole Miss season recap, then tape. Okay.
All right. All good, all good.
That's why we do it.
From squeeze play to the square, welcome to the NCAA Baseball Championships, the regionals presented by Capital One. They are primed and ready in Oxford, Mississippi for a major showdown. It's the SEC versus the ACC. Number 12 national seed Ole Miss. Amidst the raindrops in a soggy field, we've got no shirts, we've got parkas, grills are going strong, and most of the cups are full. That's how we like to live our life. An optimistic look. Ole Miss and Florida State in the nightcap tonight. Here's what the bracket looks like. Yes, Southern Miss did win 21-0 earlier today. The Golden Eagles remain alive. They'll take on the loser of this one tomorrow afternoon. The winner will be just 3 wins away from the College World Series and Omaha. So Ole Miss and Florida State in the nightcap. Welcome, everybody. Tom Hart alongside Kyle Peterson. It's pretty simple when we talk about this Florida State team. Yes, they're used to being in the postseason. They're used to making it to Omaha. But if they do it this year, they're going to do it with the long ball. 40% of their offense comes from the home run. Just so happens that they have the nation's home run leader.
Well, it's a short run so far in the NCAA tournament. 100% of their offense has come from the long ball so far. For Florida State last night, zeros early, and then this changed it. Logan Lacey's 8th home run of the season. That tied it at 2. And then later on in the inning, Elijah Cabell would come up. And if you just saw this from the side, you'd think he was beat on a curveball. He was, but he's strong enough to drive it out of the ballpark. That made it 3-2. And Matthew Nelson's nation-tying 23rd home run extended the lead, and that was enough for Florida State to win at 5-2 in the opener.
On the other side for Ole Miss, they have one of the nation's best stories. Tim Elko is playing on a torn ACL, hit a grand slam for the big hit yesterday for the Rebels. They also have a gambling head coach. Mike Bianco has saved his ace, Doug Nikhazy, for this game. That paid off yesterday, and now they got an ace up their sleeve for this must-win.
Yeah, for Ole Miss, they lose an ace a few weeks ago, and so now it's time for other guys to step up. Last night it was Derek Diamond that was called on. Was good enough. Pitched him into the 5th inning. And really, I think that's all you're looking for Diamond in the opener. Broadway came in, got 5 outs to finish it off. Tight until, well, Mr. Ole Miss changed it with one swing. Tim Elko playing on one ACL right now. Grand slam to right. Beer distributors in Oxford went crazy, and they do every time there's a home run to right field. Elko's grand slam changed it. Ole Miss held on and won the opener 6-3.
SVP called it the Bellagio Fountains. Kind of looks like that, and they are still filing in here at Swayze Field. We are just moments away from first pitch between the Rebels and the Seminoles. We'll take you through the batting order for Ole Miss right after this. 70 degrees, light rain. We hope to continue to dodge the raindrops tonight. Here's a look at the batting order for Ole Miss. Tim Elko, one big hit against SEMO in their first game. That was a grand slam in the third inning. That was all the offense Ole Miss would need. They're going to face a pretty good pitcher in Florida State's Bryce Hubbard in this one. Hubbard comes in 6-5 on the season. Freshman from Windermere, Florida, trying to bounce back from his worst start of the year.
Yeah, it was tough. He didn't get an out in the ACC tournament. They pitched him in the opener against Duke. I think the key today for Hubbard, he's got to land his breaking ball. Fastball is 89 to 92, but if he can land that breaking ball, it makes that fastball even better over the course of the ballgame.
There's a buzz in the ballpark for this one. Even the rain couldn't dampen the spirits of the Ole Miss faithful. Coolers are stocked. Cups are at least half full, and we are underway. In a first pitch just a hair low. Peyton Chatinier, the Ole Miss second baseman, sophomore from Cypress, Texas. This is a versatile defensive Ole Miss team. Guys like Chatinier and T.J. McCants have played numerous positions this year. They had to shuffle a bunch of guys around due to injuries, and they have fit in exactly where they've been placed. Chatinier gets sorted, and the count 1-1. Chatinier is without his own injury, pulled his hamstring game 3 of the season against Texas and missed 3 weeks. Hubbard misses with the breaking ball, 2-1.
That was the issue last weekend against Duke, is inconsistency with the breaking ball. They got into fastball accounts, misfire with the fastball some. There's a lot of swing and miss. They don't center his fastball up very much, but he has to be able to keep him honest and off that fastball by landing that breaking ball for a strike. Hammers a fastball glove side right there to get it back to 2-2. Chatinier doesn't want it in there. If he can put it there, that's a very good spot.
Lifts it to center. Isaiah Perry getting a rare start in center field tonight. And he handles that one with ease. Just his third start of the year. So one down for shortstop Jacob Gonzalez. Freshman from Glendora, California. He has had a remarkable postseason. He hit .421 in the SEC tournament with 8 hits over 5 games. And he got a hit in his first ever NCAA tournament game last night. That one pongs off both Nelson and the home plate umpire Greg Harmon. Hubbard looks locked in early. Line drive and a base hit for Gonzalez the opposite way.
His approach against left-handers is so solid. Kind of locks up that front side to keep the front shoulder in a little bit more, gets the breaking ball, and just stays on it. And he will consistently do this against left-handed pitchers. He doesn't try to use the right side of the field unless they throw him a fastball in. Otherwise, he's comfortable staying on it, shooting the other way. It's the first hit of the night for Ole Miss.
So here is Tim Elko. 14 home runs on the season, including the grand slam yesterday. He's playing on a torn ACL. Said he doesn't even think about it when he swings. And it certainly hasn't slowed him down since he came back from the injury. The senior from the Tampa area has homered 5 times on a bad ACL. 2 home runs in the SEC tournament.
You can see the early book tonight on Elko was the same book that Dylan Dodd had last night. Left-hander Dodd, first at bat against Elko, was consistently trying to go fastball in or half.
Again, having a hard time with the breaking ball. 2-1 now. If you're wondering how Elko got back onto the baseball field after a torn ACL, the answer is very slowly. Started riding a bike, then walking on the treadmill, then jogging in the outfield. 26 days after the injury, he returned, and he homered in his return. 3-1 now.
Saw a small movement that Matthew Nelson, the catcher, made right there. And we've got two of the best catchers in all of college baseball tonight in Nelson and Hayden Dunhurst. Just motioned to the lead leg of Hubbard and encouraged him to keep it closed. That one was better.
Grooves 91, full count to Elko.
Now, if he can make that pitch, if you can make a glove side fastball like he did right there, he should be able to stay on top of the breaking ball. But the breaking ball has flared on him, gone high arm side a few times already.
Don't think we'll see it here. Payoff to Elko with one on and one out. And he misses with the fastball, 2 aboard, and an opportunity for Ole Miss. Elko's been the comeback story. Kevin Graham has been as consistent as anyone in this Ole Miss lineup. A .342 average, 14 home runs as he makes his 62nd start of the season tonight. That breaking ball looks better.
That was his best one of the game there.
Hubbard, 6'1" lefty from Windermere, Florida. Made 3 starts in the abbreviated 2020 campaign. That one kicks away from Nelson. Gonzalez to third. Elko will replace him at second. And as good as Matt Nelson has been with the bat, 13 pass balls on the year.
Yeah, and I would assume this would be a wild pitch. The one knock on guys that catch with the one knee down is the ability to get around breaking balls and block. And Nelson, this time he doesn't actually. He went to block with one knee. He didn't set up with one knee, but as he blocked with one knee, the top half was turned more towards second base. Ball came up and hit him sideways. Heads up right there from Hubbard to run and get the ball instead of run towards home plate. If he runs towards home plate, that may cost him a run.
Graham takes a breaking ball to the right side off the glove of Green. His second error in as many games. Gonzalez has scored. Elko will trudge home. Not bad for one good ACL, and Ole Miss has a 2-0 lead. Jackson Green had 2 errors all regular season. He's got 2 now in the postseason.
This is similar to the start that we saw last night. Just a second ago, you had runners on first and second. Wild pitch him gets him second and third, and a ground ball that's hit hard, and this track's going to play fast. It is wet, and so on the infield, the ball's going to skip. It gets on Green a little bit quicker than he thought, gets away. That should be 2 errors on the play. Then the throw gets away. 2 separate errors has Graham standing at second base. 2 runs in, and Mike Martin Jr. out early.
E4 and an E9. Same script as yesterday when Florida State gifted Southern Miss a pair of runs in the first. No shirts required in the Ole Miss student section, but you got to be at least half full in the Solo Cup. The forecast for every game is showers, whether the sun is out or not. Nothing like a mock chant in the first.
Gave him an extra hour to get hydrated. You knew they'd be ready to go early.
Quick visit from head coach Mike Martin Jr. out to the mound to meet not just with Hubbard, but with everybody else. They can't afford to fall behind early in this one. Clayton Kwiatkowski is already getting loose for Florida State. Third baseman Justin Bench. And a first pitch strike. You imagine Mike Martin Jr.'s hook would be a little bit quicker based on Hubbard's struggles in the ACC tournament.
It was quick that night. Before that, Hubbard had been on a pretty decent run. He had thrown the ball fine for him. The longest outing of the year, though, just 6 1/3 innings. You can see already how that pitch count will get driven up. If you're not throwing a lot of strikes with a breaking ball, it just runs the pitch count up early.
And he misses upstairs that time. And that start against Duke in Charlotte. Didn't record an out. Allowed 4 runs. All earned. 2 hits. Couple of walks. In a game that Florida State lost 12-1. First postseason as a head coach for Mike Martin Jr. Of course, his dad, known simply by his number 11, the legendary head coach of Florida State for decades. And senior in the ballpark tonight, we understand. 24th season of Florida State staff. He's a guy largely credited with moving Buster Posey from short to behind the plate. That seemed to work out all right. 1-2 to bench is grounded to short. Nander to Cedas for the second out. All right, so if you're Hubbard and you've been struggling and you're struggling with the breaking ball, just getting out of this inning might feel like a victory, but that doesn't change the fact that he's almost a one-pitch pitcher right now.
Agreed. I mean, look at the way the inning went. You've got single, the walk to Elko, and then 2 errors in 1 play, and they were going to score. Both runs were going to score on the first error anyway, but a wild pitch that moved him up. It's not like Ole Miss has been hitting it all over the ballpark yet. Florida State just really helped him out.
This is T.J. McCants, freshman from the Florida Panhandle out of Pensacola Catholic. Came in as a shortstop. Gave him a chance to play the outfield to get him in the lineup. They said, hey, can you catch a fly ball? Yeah, I can do that.
Cool. Go play center.
Yeah, now he's home. Better breaking ball that time. He's thrown a couple good ones. 0-2 now.
And in talking to Mike Bianco, the reason was, first of all, they think that every week T.J. McCants is turning into a better center fielder. But secondly, it makes this lineup deeper. If you can get McCants in the ball game, Cale Baker's been playing first since he injured to Elko. Bench had to move to third. There was guys going all over the place. But if McCants can handle center, and he has definitely shown that he can handle center, this is a better lineup with him in it.
21st season at Ole Miss for Mike Bianco. He's the dean of SEC coaches. And last year, collegiate baseball's coach of the year, trying to get Ole Miss back to Omaha. They went a few years ago. McCants gets underneath this one. Perry, DeSantis in front of him. And Perry makes the catch. Ole Miss takes advantage of a couple of errors, 2 runs, and just 1 hit and 1 stranded. Early lead for the Rebels.
The NCAA Baseball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Well, Mike Bianco gambled a little bit, moving Doug Day back a day instead of throwing his ace. Game number 1. It has put Ole Miss in a great position. The junior comes in with a 9-2 record, a 2.18 ERA. What has impressed you the most about Nikhazy?
Consistency. He's just been so good the entire season. A whip of .73, 27 walks compared to 114 strikeouts. Those 114 strikeouts are 20th in the country coming into this one. And it was really a 2-headed monster with Nikhazy and Gunnar Hoagland. No more Gunnar Hoagland. So for Ole Miss to make a run, they have to win the games that Nikhazy starts.
So we've got Windermere High School against West Orange High School. A couple of Windermere guys on the mound. And Nikhazy delivers a first pitch strike to Tyler Martin. Matthew Nelson is the pop in this lineup. 2-run home run against Southern Miss yesterday. Tied for the national lead. Tyler Martin knows how to get on base in the leadoff spot, 449 OBP. He's been hit 13 times this year. Coach's son. Down in the count, 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Playing for his dad and with Grandpa watching and getting greetings. It's Mike Martin Sr. I understand 11's golf game has really taken off the last couple of years.
I would assume.
Chopped to short. Here's Gonzalez, the freshman. Oh, couldn't gather, and Tyler Martin will reach.
That should be an infield single right there to start for Tyler Martin. So 11 watching his son coach his grandson right there. And grandson reaches to start this one. Didn't get enough of it. Probably good that he didn't. Pounded it right up in front of home plate, and on a day to where it is it's soft. It's not going to bounce very high right there. Slowed that ball down. Tyler Martin's on with an infield single to start.
And here's Logan Lacey. This is a Florida State team that's hitting just .244 as a squad. Lacey under 300. And Casey's breaking ball misses 1-0.
Mike Martin Jr. has loaded this lineup up from the right side, too. Switched his center fielder up. That's why Perry's in the game. 7 of the 9 in the Florida State lineup from the right side today.
Lacey pops this one out of play. Logan was 1 for 8 in the 2 games in the ACC tournament. Had 2 hits, including a home run in the opening win against Southern Miss. Climbed the ladder on him. Nikhazy has been magnificent over his last 3 starts, covering 20 innings. He's got a 6-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio with 3 earned runs, only 2 extra base hits, 30 strikeouts in his last 20 innings. Racing back is Chatinier. Settles underneath. 1 down. Think Nikhazy gets overshadowed in the SEC?
Yes, just because of the history that Kumar Rocker and, well, not a lot of history for Jack Leiter, but what he did early in the season. But when you match up numbers, Nikhazy doesn't take a backseat to anybody. First team All-American, first team All-SEC. And outdueled him when they went head-to-head. So he had as good a season as anyone in the SEC.
Allowed just 1 hit in his first SEC start. That was over 5 innings to Alabama. And a 1.35 ERA over his last 3. He's now facing the nation's home run leader, Matt Nelson, tied with South Carolina's Wes Clark with 23 long balls on the season. It's the most for a Florida State hitter since Buster Posey hit 26 in 2008. 2-0. Nelson is not the only hitter who can hurt you in this Florida State lineup with the long ball, but obviously he is the most dangerous. The ACC Player of the Year, first team All-America.
Like that matchup right there. Nelson 2-0 sitting fastball. Nikhazy comes right after him. Nelson just missed it. Hit it straight back. Now it can go a lot of different ways. You're going to see 2 breaking balls from Nikhazy too. One a slider that'll be low to mid 80s, and then a more true curveball. He threw the second pitch of this at bat to Nelson. First team All-American, Player of the Year in the ACC, and he leads the country in home runs.
2-1 from Nikhazy. Again, fastball up. He was among the fastest in Florida State history to get to 20 home runs, matching the pace set by Jeff Ledbetter in 1982 and J.D. Drew in 1997. '39th round pick of the Phillies coming out of high school. Nikhazy's 2-2. Another fastball, and Nelson couldn't find it. 2 down.
So 2 off-speed pitches to start the at-bat. A slider and a breaking ball, got in a 2-0 count. Then fastball fell straight back. Fastball to finish Nelson off right there. Nikhazy is sneaky. He's not going to show you much more than maybe a 91 or a 92, but he throws across his body, really hides the baseball well. And so that 90-91 plays up to mid-90s. You can tell by the reactions of hitters. And even in a 2-0 count, Nelson couldn't get to it.
Runner on and 2 down for Robbie Martin in a healthy cut. The third team All ACC outfielder out of Tampa Jefferson High School. .11 home runs for Martin this season. Went 1 for 4 in the opener against Southern Miss. Standing room only on the concourse here. I'd be willing to stand in a puddle to be in the ballpark tonight. What a scene.
Yeah, the rain didn't scare him away.
No. Wanted it up, hit his spot, 1-2. They are jammed in even without seats. Pickoff attempt over at first, where Tyler Martin is not likely to run. Only 6 stolen bases on the year. Gets a word from Tyler Holt, first base coach. Preseason #1 team in the country, the Florida Gators, were eliminated today. And so it's an all-Florida showdown in Florida ballpark. The South Florida Bulls and the Miami Hurricanes tied at 1 in the 3rd. USF had to rally to make it into the tournament by winning the American. What we got? We got chatter at high decibels, and it seems to be directed towards Tyler Holt, first base coach, coming from the Ole Miss dugout. Either that or directed at Tyler Martin over at first base.
Welcome to the postseason, Thomas.
Hey, when the umpires move towards a dugout and say, hey, guys, that's enough.
It's not February anymore. Winner tonight in the driver's seat in this regional, and we're having discussions early.
I think they're arguing over Boo-Ray versus City Grocery.
Well, there's no loser in that discussion, and I would have bet any amount of money that Nikhazy was going to pick again right there. You get everybody going nuts in the previous one, and he's not going to show him his best one, but just to try to drive the discussion a little bit further.
Martin not going, swing and a miss. Back-to-back Ks. He strikes out Nelson and Martin with the run around. Florida State gets the lead. Man on, can't do anything with it. 2-0 Ole Miss. .70 degrees and cloudy. Might be some haze from the grills in the outfield here at Swayze Field, Oxford, Mississippi, where the home team Rebels are the visitors in the scorebook tonight. And they have a 2-0 lead on Florida State.
My eyes were serving me. That was something that was wrapped in bacon. You don't know what that something was, and it really doesn't matter. But it was something wrapped in bacon, which makes everything better.
You have an eye for bacon. Here's Hayden Dunhurst, the Ole Miss catcher, batting in the 7th spot. Rebels got a pair of runs in the first, thanks to a single, a walk, and 2 Florida State errors. Second consecutive game this postseason. The Seminoles have kicked the ball around twice in the first inning. (2-0). Dunhurst, sophomore from Carrier, Mississippi, out of Pearl River Central. 37th round pick of the Rockies in 2019. And he puts it on the ground to the right side. Flagged down by Green. Sidearm to the bag. What a play. And they got him.
You got to be so perfect to get this with his foot and watch this. He doesn't have time to look down. And so you're chopping your steps when you get over to first base. In this case, it's a little bit easier to be left-handed because glove siding is leading you to the play. But Hubbard chops, hits the top of that bag, and you can tell how wet it is because the spike doesn't catch. But just as the time as the right foot hits, the ball hits his glove, and that is a very tough play.
Hubbard needed a play like that. Jackson Green needed a play like that. Yeah. 2 errors in the first 2 games. And
it took a strike from Green because you got to lead him. that baseball has to be out in front of Hubbard, so he's catching it in stride, but that right foot has to hit, because if you got to reach back and try to get that bag, he's safe.
Cale Baker at the plate, 6 feet even, 250 pounds, fifth-year senior from Ohio. Picked up his back foot and looked at a strike. The distinguished gentleman behind the plate disagreed with Greg Harmon. He's still disagreeing. Looked like a similar pitch.
There's a few others that have the same feeling as you. That one looked a little bit in. You can tell where Hubbard wants to go with a fastball, and it is to that side. Into the right-handers, that's the spot he's most comfortable throwing.
Got underneath it. Perry been kept busy and almost met up with Elijah Cabell. It is a rare start for Perry, who's gotten more playing time as of late, but this is just his third start of the season. And Florida State is 53 games into their season. John Rice Plumlee now. Two sports standout at Ole Miss. Quarterback and outfielder. And you can see by the reaction of the crowd, the rain getting a little bit heavier now at Swayze. Great day to be a poncho salesman. Plumlee came up with a couple of big plays in a win against Southeast Missouri. Singled and scored his first at bat. Made a nice play in the outfield to save a run. He has elite speed. Curveball missed, 1-2. Sophomore from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Chase one in the dirt. Nelson will have to throw down to finish the strikeout. It's a 1-2-3 frame by Hubbard. Big bounce back inning for the Florida State lefty. We go to the bottom of the second, 2-0 Ole Miss. Last time during a rain delay. How about you watch Oklahoma City in the Women's College World Series? Florida State came back from a late deficit to knock off Arizona. The Seminoles get a walk-off win. It's a pretty good way to kill the time.
Walked off Arizona, I believe.
Here's Elijah Cabell. Did I say Arizona State? Apologies.
I'm not sure. I do know that it was Arizona, though. So regardless of what you said, it was still Arizona that they walked off.
That's true. Cabell raw power, 15 home runs in the season. On their run to Omaha a couple years ago, Mike Martin Sr. was telling us about Cabell's power, saying he hit a ball to a place at Tallahassee that he'd only seen one other player hit there, and that was J.D. Drew. Google him, kids. He was pretty good. Nice curveball from McKazy. 1-2. There's the Martin family.
Miss seeing that guy. Deep southern draw. You'd always get a dadgummit mixed in there somewhere. And my, has he seen a lot in this game.
Swing and a miss. And Cabell goes down swinging. Let's take it to the studio. Here's Phil Murphy. All right, Phil, thanks. Their big guy just keeps hitting home runs. 3 straight strikeouts for Nikhazy. Dylan Simmons looks at a first pitch strike.
I know you get tired of me saying this, but I love watching the really good catchers catch a breaking ball because the glove starts where they think the ball is going to end up. They don't follow the path of the baseball with a glove. Watch Dunhurst when he catches a curveball. Both these guys are strike stealers. Yeah, all of them. I mean, everything. When you see little movement, quiet hands from a catcher, that means they're very, very good because they don't have to make any quick movements right at the end to adjust. Dunhurst is absolutely that guy.
Oh, up and in on Simmons. Simmons has already been through enough. He was scheduled to enroll at Florida State in the summer of 19, but was diagnosed with stage 1 lymphoma. Stayed home in Jacksonville for chemotherapy and radiation treatments. Finally enrolled spring of 2020. And he goes down swinging. That is 4 straight Ks now for Nikhazy.
All 4 have been swinging. He's got everything going tonight. And when Nikhazy has everything going, that's usually a long night for the team on the other side. 4 straight. Both breaking balls, the ability to throw it for a strike, and he is getting ahead of guys. When he gets ahead of guys, he can expand his zone. He did it again right there to Simmons.
Here's Nander to Cedas. And the first pitch misses up, 1-0. Third-year sophomore from Panama City, Panama. Played his high school ball at Montverde Academy. Known for the basketball stars they put out, but they've produced a couple of pretty good baseball guys. That one hit him. Mike Bianca wanted to argue about it, and they're going to take a look at it.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay at first. That's just a breaking ball that he held on to a little bit longer, and I didn't think DeSatis moved into it. I just thought he rolled. Yeah, he's not moving in. If anything, the elbow's moving far enough away. Now, you're not going to jump out of the way because he's got that elbow guard on, but this does not look like one that he tried to intentionally get. Now, he may have been trying to get hit, but he didn't move into it. If you just roll slower than you need to get out of the way, there's nothing wrong with that.
The way to think about a hit by pitch, and as it's ruled in college baseball, is pretty simple. Did the ball hit you or did you hit the ball? Right. Meaning, if you stick your arm into it, they'll put you right back at the plate. Be the first hit batter of the season for Nikhazy. How good is Doug Nikhazy? Ole Miss is 11-1 on the year when they've had a lead at any point when Nikhazy was pitching. The only time they've lost one was back in February against UCF, and that was before he missed time due to injury.
We're not going to count that.
No, just throw it out.
February baseball. It's like spring training.
You like the idea that Mike Bianca would use? Yeah.
I would read, all right, we'll leave him at first base.
You like the idea that Mike Bianca would use a challenge on this in the second inning as well as Nikhazy's been pitching?
I don't think that he did. I don't think that he did because the umpires can do it themselves. I mean, the crew chief can initiate it, which in this case would be Joe Burleson. it's the way that it looked like it happened. I wish that we knew exactly what it was and who initiated the challenge, but that felt like one that the umpires came together and looked at it as opposed to a specific challenge.
Here's a nugget for you with 1 on and 2 out. Jackson Green at the plate. Georgia Tech versus Vandy right now in Nashville. Jack Leiter just threw a strike that was 99 on the plaque. Georgia Tech started Marquise Grissom Jr. on the mound. In his career, Marquise Sr. hit .361 against Al Leiter. 13 of 36 with a home run and 6 ribbies.
His daddy saved me a few runs, I'll tell you that.
Green's average under 200 comes in at 189, and he sends a line drive down the left field line. DeSatis motors to third. Graham scoops it up, and it's a double for Jackson Green with 2 outs in the second.
Two quick strikeouts to start the inning, and then DeSatis is hit by a breaking ball, and Jackson Green doubles down the left field line. Bench goes up in the air. If he's playing deep, maybe he's got a chance to get this ball, but playing even with the bag, no chance there. Down the line, Graham cuts it off. If that gets to the wall, DeSatis is going to score. But as it is, second and third, 2 outs right now for the Noles with Isaiah Perry coming up, who has 10 at-bats the entire season.
And he is 0 for 5 against left-handed pitching this year. Upstairs 1-0. Guess Meats playing a hunch, huh?
I think he just wanted as many right-handers in this lineup as possible. Perry's 3 for 10 with 2 doubles.
Third start of the year. Ball in the strike. Perry's a redshirt junior from Pembroke Pines, Florida. Played his high school ball at St. Thomas Aquinas. Went to Texas Southern to start. Then Santa Fe College in Gainesville before enrolling at Florida State. Of his 3 hits, 2 of them came in one day against Stetson back on April 27th. Two in scoring position. Here's the 1-2 from Nikhazy. Swing and a miss, and Nikhazy gets out of trouble. Strikes out the side. Florida State strands a pair in the second.
2 strikeouts in the first, now 3 in the second. Punch out, punch out. Next 2 reach, and Doug Nikhazy goes back to work. Cabell to start, Simmons for the second out, and then Isaiah Perry to finish it off. 5 of the 6 outs so far by Nikhazy are strikeouts.
Don't even need words for that. Honey, you remember the first baseball game you went to? Yeah. I saw Tim Elko against Matt Nelson, and big leaguer Doug Nikhazy was on the mound. Even made it on TV. Here's Peyton Chatagnier for Ole Miss. 2-0 Rebels lead. And that one gets to the backstop out of Hubbard's hand. Dramatics last night in Knoxville. Walk-off grand slam for the Volunteers to beat Wright State. And Tennessee using the long ball again tonight. They have a 7-0 lead on Liberty in the 6th.
5 more home runs for Tennessee tonight.
It's a little bit ridiculous. Had to deal with rain in Starkville and plenty of offense. Campbell leads Samford 16-11 in the 8th inning of an elimination game. All of these games available on the ESPN app, on ESPN3, and of course via squeeze play. Chris Budd and Mike Rooney will take you around all of the regionals tonight. 2-1 to Chatinier. Left side, Lacey had a long run. DeSatis backing him up, and the shortstop will call him off. 1 down. NCAA regional coverage for all 16 sites continues tonight and tomorrow on ESPN3 and the ESPN app. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships, including the Women's College World Series, where last night Montana Fouts of Alabama turned in the 5th perfect game in Women's College World Series history. What a scene in Oklahoma City.
Perfect game on her 21st birthday.
What was perfect about your 21st birthday?
I think the word is more imperfect. I don't know that perfect would have been used that night.
Jacob Gonzalez singled and scored in the first. You know what the perfect site for a 21st birthday would be? The student section at Swayze. Gonzalez gets hit by a pitch. Right? I mean, you don't have to pay for one. Everybody's got a cooler full. You're out there with your best friends.
It's legal. You can take your shirt off.
I don't see anybody playing tennis.
Tennis courts look like they've seen a better day back there. You know what would look good back there? Condos.
Huh. Tim Elko's put a home run ball back that direction. He was talking to his postgame last night after his grand slam. He said the scene coming around first and seeing the students going wild was, well, probably everything he's imagined, because he's done it a few times before. 14 home runs on the season, came in slugging .679. Tyler Martin comes back into territory and handles it. 2 down. And here's Kevin Graham. Through the hole on the right side. Gonzalez will stop at second. 2 on with 2 out in the third.
All of these left-handers. Gonzalez is that way. Graham is that way. Dunhurst is that way. Really stay on the left-handed breaking ball. See Gonzalez take it to left a little bit more. Graham will take it to right, but they don't swing and miss nearly as much as a lot of other lefties on that pitch. Another hit for Graham.
This is Justin Bench. He's 0 for 1 at the ground out to short.
Yeah, the poor guy behind home plate. That's been about 3 of them, and there's. We haven't yet figured out that it is going to stop that instinct to dive out of the way. And she's had 3 of them come screaming back there.
Knee high for a strike, 0-2. Pretty good tournament for the ACC so far, 8-2. And Notre Dame leading big tonight. ACC has not had a team eliminated yet. SEC 8-4, 1 team eliminated. That was the only national seed so far that's been eliminated, the Florida Gators, preseason number 1. Their regional continues without them, and Miami and South Florida tied up 1 in the 4th inning, 1 run each. Nice block by Nelson, 1-2. This tournament, at least through a day and a half, is going to create a reputation as a long ball tournament. 2 players have 3 homer games. R.J. Schreck for Duke, and we saw Southern Miss's Chris Sargent hit 3 earlier today against SEMO. There were only 3 3-homer games in the previous 4 NCAA tournaments combined. And as a whole, well ahead of the pace set in 2019 in total home runs. Two and two. Is that just baseball these days?
Could be. Some of it is parks too. I mean, this park does not play big. Tennessee does not play big. That's where there's been a lot of home runs already.
Full count now.
This may seem minimal, but if you got guys on first and second, 2 outs, whatever the action is, you would much prefer the action to happen 2-2 than 3-2. 3-2, everybody's off and running. It's going to give everybody a few more steps, and they're going full speed when that ball's released.
Off and running indeed, and this one's popped up foul territory. Logan Lacey casually puts away the 3rd out. No runs, a hit, couple stranded, 3 left on through 3 for Ole Miss, but the Rebels up 2-0. You're watching the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Tom Hart with Kyle Peterson. They are ready to rock in the student section at Swayze, and they have been. Bottom of the 3rd. Usually the home team come to the plate, but Florida State, the home team, on the scoreboard in this one, and the Seminoles trailed 2-0. South Florida's opened up a 3-1 lead on Miami, bottom of the 4th in Gainesville in the 1-0 games. And a first pitch strike into Tyler Martin, 0-1. Martin is coach's son, 2nd-year freshman from Tallahassee. Last February in his dad's first game as a head coach, Tyler was in the leadoff spot. Skipped his final high school season to enroll early. The Florida State program has been one that has preached on base percentage for years. Like Martin, his wife Carol, grandpa, dad, and son. And Tyler gave Corey Clark a quote talking about Barry Bonds. He said, if your on base percentage is high, everything else is high. Chopped that one off of his foot. He said, so I've always liked to walk. Yeah. He said, I've always thought of it as a free pass. This guy just gave it to me. Thanks. I don't see any difference between a walk and a single off the wall.
It's in their blood. It's the way this offense is run for the last 25 to 30 years. They're always selective. They're always going to make you throw strikes. And if there was one guy in this lineup that you would think would be the most selective, it would be with the last name Martin.
Chops one to the right side. This is Chatinier. And in the studio, here's Phil Murphy. That is a matchup. Here's Logan Lacey. So you played with Marquise Grissom, huh?
I did in Milwaukee. Yeah. Grip. I think I've got a Marquise Grissom bat somewhere. When I knew my run was about over, which wasn't that long of a run anyway, but I had to grab a few bats just to keepsakes. Grips was one of them. I'm not sure if he knew that, though, so don't tell him.
It's just between us. He's watching the other game anyway. Marquise Grissom has a great story, junior that is, how he ended up at Georgia Tech. He was trying to decide where he was going to end up, and a family friend said, son, if you have the opportunity to play baseball for Danny Hall at Georgia Tech, you go to Georgia Tech. That was Henry Aaron who told him that. Yes, sir, Mr. Aaron. 1-2 now. Good luck getting that out of the sand trap. And of note in that Vandy Georgia Tech game, they're making Leiter work. The Jackets fouled off 18 of his pitches in the third inning, and Leiter's thrown 60 pitches through 3 in that scoreless game. Casey shakes twice. Now they'll talk about it. What he's seen from Casey early.
What we've seen over the last 3 months. He's controlled 3. The fastball looks better because the ability to throw the breaking balls when he wants. There's another curveball right there. Curveball and the slider, he's had them both tonight. And when he has them both, the fastball is going to get even better. He's thrown a few changeups, not many, but changeups is usually what Nikhazy's not going to ride on. He'll ride on that one and the fastball. 6 of the first 8 outs via the strikeout for Nikhazy.
And all of them swinging. 2 down now for the nation's home run leader, Matt Nelson. South Carolina will be in action in just a few moments. They'll start on their home field against Old Dominion. Wes Clark tied for the home run lead. He'll be batting in the heart of South Carolina's order. First pitch just missed to Nelson. 23 home runs on the season, 66 driven in, came in with an OPS of 1225. They're trying to find the right sport for Matt Nelson as a young kid. His mom, Tanya, told Kurt Weiler of the Democrat. First was karate, but he refused to do jumping jacks. Next was soccer, but he didn't want to run the field. After that was ice hockey, but he refused to skate. So we put him in Little League at 5, and he slept with his bat and never stopped.
Oh, what could have been of the Matthew Nelson karate career that we'll never know. This one, I think, is going to work out a little better.
I don't believe they have maroon belts, do they? Two and two. Strength versus strength. The 2-2 to Nelson. Breaking ball for strike 3 called. First backwards K of the day. Nikhazy has struck out 7.
He's doing it with everything. This time the curveball, and it felt like Nelson was speeding up because he had to protect against the fastball. Nikhazy drops a breaking ball in there, strikes out another one. At least 2 strikeouts in every inning, 3 scoreless for Doug Nikhazy.
2 runs in the first for Ole Miss, thanks in large part to a pair of Florida State errors. And Doug Nikhazy has held up his end, 5th straight start with 7 Ks or more, and he's only 3 innings into it. To the 4th, here's T.J. McCants to lead off for Ole Miss. South Florida leads Miami 3-1 with the bases loaded in the 4th. The skies have opened up over in Gainesville. They're going to be in a rain delay, I assume. Not quite yet. Pitch has popped up into foul territory, and Lacey couldn't find it. What's going on in Gainesville something else. It looks like the grounds crew wanted to put the tarp on the field, and the umpire waved them off. They're playing in a downpour.
What are we doing? It is pouring.
Must be AMS certified.
Of it. It is streaming off of the light stands. Now we're good.
No, don't worry. I've got AccuWeather. I know. I'm good. Nothing at 2 to McCants. McCants sends another one to the left side. This one will get out of play. That game available over on ESPNU. All games available on the app along with Squeeze Play. With Chris Budd and Mike Rooney to take you around the regionals. I've never seen a groundskeeper be waved off by an umpire. To first. One down. Speaking of Squeeze Play, if you have it up right now via the ESPN app, you would have seen Kevin Parada of Georgia Tech just take Jack Leiter deep to left field, and it's a 1-0 Yellow Jacket lead. Squeeze Play available on the ESPN app throughout the college baseball regionals. And South Florida has got a run in the rain. Now a 4-1 lead. Chris Budd and Mike Rooney will take you the rest of the night. Here's Hayden Dunhurst, the Ole Miss catcher. I cannot believe they're playing in the rain like that in Gainesville.
I would say this: if you're watching this, hopefully you're split screening it right now on Squeeze Play. If I was Gino DeMare, I'd go sit on home plate. I would be going crazy. If you're hitting right now, you don't care. But they're not hitting. They're pitching, and it is pouring. And to try to get any feel on the baseball right now is impossible.
Swing and a miss for Dunhurst. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dunhurst, coming out of high school, is rated the #1 catcher in the nation. He was the player of the year in the state of Mississippi and a high school All-American. He committed in June after his freshman year in high school as a 15-year-old. And he committed to his staff that is loaded with former catchers. Mike Bianco, his head coach, was a catcher at LSU. Caught our buddy Ben McDonald. Mike Clement, the third base coach, also a catcher. 92 upstairs, full count.
Carl Lafferty was a catcher.
Yeah.
You get the 3 coaches on this Ole Miss staff all caught. There's maybe not a lot of secrets as to why they've had so many consistent defensive catchers, and Dunhurst is going to be as good as any of them.
Swing and a miss, and got the tag from Nelson. 2 down here. Let's go there. It's Phil Murphy. Phil might be in a rain delay right now. They're finally putting the tarp on the field in Gainesville with a 5-1 South Florida lead. Gino DeMare's out. He is out talking. He's pointing to the sky.
I would lose it. I would have absolutely lost it before all this happened. I can't believe he didn't. Because the Miami dugout is right next to where the groundskeeper was. I mean, if you're hitting, you want to hit all night. Because you can basically eliminate any decent breaking balls when it is raining that hard.
Here's Cale Baker. Gahanna, Ohio native, fouls one off. We've had a host of sites impacted by weather today, including this one. Rain delay in the first game of an hour and 20 minutes. That came with Southern Miss leading 20-0. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's a second rain delay in Gainesville today.
Fairfield's a winner in the NCAA tournament.
How about that? Go Stags.
They knocked Southern out. Had a 1-run lead in the ninth yesterday. Arizona State hung around, walked them off, but Fairfield wins their first ever NCAA game tonight.
They're the last undefeated team in college baseball, but they didn't play a non-conference game until they made it to the NCAA tournament. NJIT got their first win. That's 2 wins for the Empire State today. Tri-state area, give or take. 1-2. Just missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes now from Hubbard to Baker, the 8-hole hitter who was 0 for 1. Green and Tyler Martin. 1-2-3 frame worked by Hubbard. Hadn't allowed a run since the first. 2-0 Ole Miss. All right, Phil, thanks. That was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that Parada took out. It was a fastball that Leiter used to no-hit South Carolina with 16 strikeouts, all of them coming on the fastball. They threw Kumar Rocker last night and Leiter tonight. Here's Robbie Martin to lead off the 4th for Florida State. 2-0 Ole Miss with the lead, and Doug Nikhazy has struck out 7 through 3 innings. Martin struck out swinging in the first. Liberty's trying to make a game of it. They've put 3 across on Tennessee, but the Volunteers in control 7-3 UT, bottom of the 7th, and what has been a wild scene on Rocky Top. Popped up to left. Whoa, that was more of an adventure than it should have been. McCants stole it from him.
Okay, so watching from here, and I'm not sure if McCants could see this or not, but watching from here, the reaction or the move that Kevin Graham made, and it was before this, he made a move that made it look like he couldn't see it.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of outfielders that hold their hands out like, see that? When his hands go out to the side like that, to me, you see that move a lot of times when a guy can't find it. And I don't know if they figured into McCants going and taking it. What figured into it more is probably just not having played a lot of center field, but it could have had something to do with it. Nikhazy, always the coach. Guys, let's talk out there.
Here's Elijah Cabell. Nikhazy reacted like the guy in the back seat when you roll through a stop sign. Whoa, what are we doing? By the way, in the game you didn't know you needed, 5 hours into it, Samford has 2 on in the top of the 9th inning, down 3 to Campbell in a 16-13 game in Starkville. Ball and a strike now to Cabell. (16-13). It feels like if you show up at the ballpark, they might end up putting you on the mound in that one. And now the Samford Bulldogs have loaded the bases. Check swing and a fastball up. Casey Moser says he didn't go. Cabell's got 15 home runs on the season. He's been battling through a hip injury. Another check swing that he holds. And a walk-off home run against Florida Gulf Coast earlier this year, the first of his career and the second for Florida State this season. He had a stretch where he had a home run in 4 straight games.
That one would have gone a long ways.
He can hit him a long
3-1 fastball. Cabell was letting it eat right there, and he fouled it straight back. He was fooled on a breaking ball away from him yesterday and just wristed it 385 feet to left center.
His first home run of the year went 489. That was in a conference game. Here's the payoff.
Good to see him shorten up with 2 strikes right there.
According to TrackMan in 2019, Cabell and former teammate Cooper Swanson had the longest tracked home runs in the country. Swanson hit one 471, Cabell 466. 14th round pick of the Brewers in 18. And he looks at a curveball. Strikeout number 8.
They give up on it. And they give up on it because it's watch where this pitch starts. Right-handers are going to give on this pitch so much because you think it's a fastball up and away, and Dunhurst just lets it travel all the way back to him. Doesn't go out and get it. Gives it as much time as possible to make it look as good as it can to Greg Harmon, the home plate umpire. Guy behind the plate is helping him, but Nikhazy's got everything right tonight.
So that is now 38 strikeouts over his last 23 2/3 innings pitched. Hey, maybe they are playing tennis. This is Dylan Simmons. Sold to Sori's last at bat. Stage 1 lymphoma diagnosis in May of 2019. Declared cancer-free in December of that year. And opening night 2020, it was just 260 days since he first received his cancer diagnosis, and he was back in the lineup. 2-0. Up and in, 3-0. First 3-ball count from Nikhazy in this game. He did hit DeSatas in the second. Ball 4. First walk from Nikhazy. It extends the 4th and will bring DeSatas to the plate. Number 13 national seed East Carolina is trailing Charlotte 5-2, top of the 7th in Greenville. Notre Dame all over UConn, the 10 seed. Irish lead 13-2 in South Bend. DeSatas pops it up, and it's going to reach the seats.
Liberty not done yet. Tennessee jumps out 7-0. Liberty now back within 4, 2 on, nobody out in the 7th.
Nothing in 2. Again, the breaking ball. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 9 for Doug Nikhazy. 4 innings into it. Ole Miss has a 2-0 lead. Florida State has 2 hits. Cougs in the first inning for Ole Miss. Thanks at least in part to a couple of Florida State errors. We'll see if the shoddy defense comes back to hurt Florida State, because with Doug Nikhazy on the mound, the Seminoles haven't been able to get anything going. John Rice Plumlee to lead off the fifth for Ole Miss. Earlier today, here in Oxford, Southern Miss beat Southeast Missouri State 21-0. It matched the largest shutout victory in the NCAA tournament. Vandy beat Radford by the same score in 2015, and in 2000, LSU beat UL Monroe 21-0. In Starkville, Samford left the bases loaded. The Campbell Camels have notched a 16-13 win over the Bulldogs, eliminating Samford. Good run for Casey Dunn's squad. 1 ball and 1 strike now to John Rice Plumlee. Plumlee, hard swing, pops it up to center. Isaiah Perry. 1 down. For a studio update, let's take it back to Phil Murphy. Phil, my dad works at a lumber yard, and he could have told you it was raining. Peyton Chatnier fouls one off. How'd you like to be for the no thanks job of the day, the Florida grounds crew? You're out there pulling tarp, and your team's been eliminated.
Yeah. You guys show up tomorrow. They're not going to play, and you know it's probably going to rain again because it's Gainesville in June.
And you got to watch one of your in-state rivals play on your own field.
I found a look for you, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Campbell Samford game. My man out in left field by the grills is going orange sport coat and nothing else. Well, nothing else up top. That's something that you should consider, I think. I mean, we got 2 tomorrow. Enough time.
Yeah.
You can go out and find you one.
Chatnier is 0 for 2. Here's what I love about it. I mean, you're in Starkville, but you, as a visiting fan, you fully embrace what it is to be at a game at Dudy Noble Field, which is hang out in the left field lounge.
Oh, there isn't anybody going to blink about it. I'll tell you that.
No.
He may go switch it out, wear a maroon one tonight.
It'd be smart. Not sure if that guy's a student, but we did see a Florida State fan who's brave enough to get into the Ole Miss student section. I am all for it.
That guy was my hero. I don't know who that man was, but you stand out in the middle of that place, I am all in for that. That's why we should do a game there. What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing that I could think of, as long as our equipment is waterproof. There it is. Hey, guys, we're going to Oxford. We're going to right field. We're going to be with the students. All right. The man's got 2 liters of Coke or something, and he is.
I'm leaning towards or
sharing.
something.
You don't usually share a swig of Coke Classic.
What are you talking about? It's Coke. What do you mean? It's in a Coke bottle, it's Coke. Walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. In a Coke bottle, it's Coke.
Might be a duck in his beard.
Good job there by Nelson. That time he did get the body turned all the way around. It gloved it, but had everything squared up towards the pitcher's mound.
One, 2 to the shortstop, Gonzalez. Pulls this one to the right side. Martin's got it. They need a tag at second, and they got that. A 3-6 double play to end the inning. Fantastic work by the Florida State infield. Took them a while to get going today, but they've been good since.
This isn't easy for a right-hander either. Tyler Martin's going to clear himself from the runner a little bit and get it inside, and DeSatis with a catch and tag to finish a double play.
Truly a good time, corn dogs and all. And the Ole Miss student section. It's a 2-0 lead for the home team. And Doug Nikhazy going back to work. He has struck out 9. Nikhazy is climbing the single season strikeout chart. His next one will tie him with Drew Pomeranz from 2009 for 5th on the single season strikeouts list. The record holder for Ole Miss is current White Sox hurler Lance Lynn. He struck out 146 in 2007. And Lynn, a couple nights ago, got a win against Detroit. 6 innings and 1 run allowed. Jackson Green pops it up to left. Graham never saw it, but the shortstop Gonzalez does. You're right about Graham. We'll talk about that in a moment, but first, here's Phil. All right, Phil, thanks. That wall, by the way, is in front of Tim Corbin's office, which, best we know, still to this day features his Christmas tree. KP, they didn't take the Christmas tree down forever, so then he and his wife Maggie just turned it into a tree.
It just
a
rotates.
Seasonal tree.
It rotates. It was Valentine's tree. It was Easter tree. What could we be
what do you got now?
May Day. You just passed May Day. It could have been the May Day tree.
Perry trying to bunt his way on, 0-2.
4th of July tree coming up.
How long do you leave the Memorial Day decorations on the fake Christmas tree? End of the week to come down, reload them?
Whole year would be fine.
Perry struck out in the second. Went down swinging. Tried to bunt his way on, and now the 0-2. And he drives it high and deep to left field. Graham to the wall. It is gone. Isaiah Perry's 4th hit of the season is his first home run. And Florida State's on the board. Yeah, that's why Meat put him in the lineup.
How about this? He had 10 at-bats on the season coming in. Nobody squared up Nikhazy the entire night. And Isaiah Perry, in his 12th at-bat of the collegiate season, in the 54th game for Florida State, goes deep and changes this one with one swing. First home run of the season. Now a 2-1 game, and that was a no-doubter when it came off the bat. Play a hunch. Get another right-hander in there that can defend, and that other right-hander just changed the ballgame.
First career home run for Perry, and his first hit since April 27. Here's Tyler Martin. So many firsts for Perry with that home run. First career home run. First hit against a lefty this year. And that is his second career RBI. Mike Martin Jr. had been platooning some guys in center field. And with a clutch hit like that, Perry may have just earned a little bit more playing time. They had Nico Baldor out there game 1. Under and past Gonzalez for a 1-out single. Let's get an update on ODU in South Carolina. All right, Phil, thanks. Over 100 home runs for Old Dominion on this season. Rule that an error on Jacob Gonzalez, his 14th of the year.
That's a rough error.
Ball was
slid to go backhand. Maybe he had enough time to get over in front of it, but look, I'm going to write hit. I'm going to do my own personal protest here, and I've written hit in ink into my book.
They'll scramble a few to the bullpen, led by Brandon Johnson. Well, what does that do for Tyler Martin or Jacob Gonzalez, your scoreboard?
It does absolutely nothing, but it's my own non-silent protest, I guess, because I'm talking about it right now. But I'm keeping it a second.
78 pitches in the game for Nikhazy. He has struck out 9 and walked 1. That ball is smoked foul. What are we booing for?
Mike Martin Jr. thought that ball was fair. I think that's what the reaction is right here. And he was incorrect. It's close, but foul. That's what he's saying. Yeah, you're right. I can see it. It's like at Roland Garros when they go out and check the spot at the French Open. Oh, yeah, never mind. You nailed it again. I take that back.
Great call. Just off the plate, 1-1 to Logan Lacey. Dunhurst came up looking, but Tyler Martin walking back to the bag. First base coach Tyler Holt knew a little something about bags, didn't he?
That he did. He could fly. Got himself to the big leagues. Now you can bet is a big advantage to have on his staff just to talk with the base stealers. Florida State doesn't run a ton.
3 balls and a strike now to Lacey. Lacey had a big game in the opener of this regional. 2-run home run, a run-scoring double. He grew up in Tallahassee. He would always go to games. He was watching Buster Posey when he was a Seminoles, his favorite player. So when I saw him out there playing, I was like, wow, I want to be there one day. Room for bench? No longer. That's into the second level. Payoff from Nikhazy. Well hit, deep left field. Graham at the fence. That one's gone. Second home run of the inning, and Florida State has its first lead of the game.
That's 2 straight nights for Logan Lacey that he changed the ballgame with one swing. Last night a 2-run home run tied it. Then 2 more home runs would give Florida State the lead. Tonight, this one gives them their first lead of the night. 3-2 fastball after he was a little early on the 3-1. This one was timed up perfectly. Home runs in back-to-back nights. His 9th of the year gives Florida State a 3-2 lead.
It's a power surge for Lacey. Make it 3 games in a row. He homered against Miami last week in Charlotte. And now the nation's home run leader, Matt Nelson. Nelson has seen a steady diet of off-speed stuff to start, and then Nikhazy beat him with fastballs in his first at-bat. Got him looking at a curveball in his second at-bat. He's 0 for 2 with a K swinging and 1 looking. Of note for Nikhazy, he had only allowed 7 home runs through 13 starts all season. He's allowed 2 in this inning. And we told you, Florida State needs a long ball to score. 100% of their offense in this regional has come via the home run. 40% of their offense on the 47% on the season. That is an insanely high number. Action continues in the Ole Miss pen. Brandon Johnson. Tried to hold it. Did not. 2-2. Nikhazy's pitch. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 10. And Nelson has a hat trick tonight.
Nelson just a little bit jumpy right now. Cheating a little bit on the fastball. That time waits back, but it's a breaking ball that's up and really not in a spot that you're going to do a whole lot with. Up and out of the zone. Nelson goes after it. 3 strikeouts tonight, 2 swinging, 1 looking for the nation's home run leader.
And now Robbie Martin, 0 for 2 tonight. 5 Florida State home runs in this regional, all to left field, all pulled by right-handers. Vandy's threatening 2-1 lead against Georgia Tech, bottom of the 5th. Jack Leiter has struck out 9 through 5 innings. 0-2. Tennessee has tacked a couple more on Liberty. It's a 9-3 balls lead, top of the 8th. And Notre Dame shellacking UConn now. 17-2 the lead. They're in the 7th. Notre Dame trying to prove that they deserved a better seed than the 10th. Bench will chase and runs out of room at the tarp. Vandy just added one. 4-1 Commodores in the 5th. 10 strikeouts for Nikhazy, but he's allowed a couple of home runs here in this inning. 0-2 to Martin. This is the last inning for Nikhazy to bring him back out for the 6th if he gets him.
I would bring him back out for the 6th.
He's gone over 100 pitches already 7 times this season. Swing and a miss. It goes to 11. But Florida State goes to left field. Not once for Perry, but twice for Lacey.
First career for Perry. That makes it 2-1. And then Logan Lacey's 2-run home run last night tied it. 2-run home run tonight gives the Noles to lead. 3 in the inning for Florida State. They lead at 3-2.
You're watching the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. 3-2 Florida State lead. A couple of home runs in the 6th inning yesterday for Florida State. They get 2 home runs in the 5th inning in this one. Long ball can cover a lot of sins, including the 2 errors in the first. Here's Elko. Elko 0 for 1 with a pop up to first. Florida native. Played with some Florida State guys in the past in the summer, including Reese Albert, who's out with an injury. Out of Hillsborough High School, which has produced a ton of baseball talent. Like Gooden, Gary Sheffield.
Decent.
Carl Everett.
Decent.
I bet Big Daddy Don Garlitz could swing a bat back in his day. Kwiatkowski has been throwing. Looks like he's
ready.
Warm.
It feels like any traffic, the game is going to be Kwiatkowski's. But if Hubbard keeps rolling, you leave him out there.
Here's Kevin Graham. It's now a 55 game on base streak for Graham. Singled his last time up. That is the active national lead. And he adds another hit to it. A 1-out single the opposite way. Back to the studio for an update on Vandy, Georgia Tech. That's a fun one. Nashville's West End tonight. Bottom of the 5th. Another ACC-SEC matchup. Graham not a threat to run. Only 2 stolen bases on the season. He's at first with 1 out for Justin Bench. The touch seems to come and go for Hubbard on that breaking ball.
I'm surprised he doesn't go to the rosin bag, because when a breaking ball slips out of your hand like that, it's because you're light on grip. And he goes straight to the dirt, which will help dry out a little bit, but rosin bag will give it a little bit more stickum to it. Every time that ball slips out of his hand, the first move is to reach down and grab a little bit of dirt. I like to see him try it. I mean, you're not going to try rosin in the middle of the game if you haven't done it much, but it's a much better way to add grip.
There's other places you can find tack.
You can. Some of them are frowned upon.
But they are pervasive, especially at the big league level. And to think that that doesn't come down to the college game would be foolish. 2-1.
Now based on reports out of the big leagues, they're going to start checking that a lot more often. Slider misses right there. That one catches Bench, and I think that will be it for Hubbard tonight. Kwiatkowski has been ready. I think they wanted to see if he could get through this inning, but I'd be surprised if they don't go to the bullpen right now.
Lefty Kwiatkowski loose. Couple of lefties in McCants and Dunhurst are due up. And the Ole Miss faithful feeling the opportunity. Down 1 in the 6th. There it is. Mike Martin Jr. giving plenty of time. And he'll go to the pen. And that'll wrap up the evening for Bryce Hubbard. Undone by a pair of Florida State errors in the first. But his offense bailed him out. He'll leave with the lead with 2 on, and Kwiatkowski will try to protect it. Back to Oxford in a moment. Here's Clayton Kwiatkowski make his 22nd appearance in the season, 2-2 with a 1.88, 35 Ks in 24 innings. Hasn't allowed an earned run in his last 6 outings. We had a fun conversation with Mike Martin Jr. during their workout day the other day, and among the questions he had for us, KP, was, hey, what exactly is hotty toddy? He just heard plenty of it during the pitching change break.
Well, yeah, and I think our comment back was, I'm not entirely sure, but I will tell you that you're going to hear it a few times this week if you hang around for a while, and he just heard it again. Jimmy Bellinger, his pitching coach, right next to him. He was very complimentary of the scene in Oxford, that's for sure.
Yeah, and now
he's got a little history with Ole Miss now.
He does.
The box score right in front of him.
He went flim flam bim bam for a home run against Ole Miss down at Tallahassee, May 28, 1995. David DeLucci had home run in that game. Doug McIvich went 3 for 3 with a couple of home runs. That was a pretty good Florida State lineup, wasn't it?
That's decent. J.D. Drew hit 8th. That was the year J.D. Drew hit 3 home runs in Omaha when he was a freshman.
Here's T.J. McCants. McCants is 0 for 2. Opportunity for Ole Miss, 2 on, 1 out. Kwiatkowski's only allowed 1 home run this season. It was a walk-off home run in a game of Florida on April 13th in a 3-2 Gators win.
I was doing that when it was Calilau that hit it.
Yeah, it was. What else can I tell you about your life? 3-1.
I don't know, but I'd like you to keep going. It's kind of fun. What am I going to do tomorrow?
Not mowing the lawn, I guarantee you that. Opportunity for the Rebels. The 3-1 pitch. In for a strike. Count is full. Payoff to McCants. Ball 4, bases loaded. Hayden Dunhurst is 1 for 9 with the bases loaded this season. Beauty of a pitch, 0-1.
So a strike stealer in that first pitch breaking ball because you don't think Dunhurst is going to swing. Now if he throws it, now we're going to work away, and maybe away off the plate. Once he gets ahead 0-1, it changes location of that breaking ball if he goes back to it with Dunhurst.
Graham at third, Bench at second, McCants the runner at first. Nothing in 2. Kwiatkowski's 0-2. You like that pitch there?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like fastball here, though. It feels like Dunhurst was locked into that one a little bit. He recognized spin early.
Chase that one in the dirt. 2 down.
Didn't recognize that spin. That one he was pulling off of. The last one, and maybe it was because it started inside, Dunhurst stayed in there and watched it all the way to the catcher. A lot of times when you see a guy watch it all the way to the catcher, means they're pretty comfortable and saw it early. This one he didn't see. Bailing out of there on it, left on left breaking ball. Dunhurst couldn't stay in, and that is a huge strikeout for Kwiatkowski.
And now Cale Baker, 2 for 4 with the bases loaded this season. Floats it in, but high, 1-0. Baker went 2 for 4 in Game 1 against SEMO. Hitless tonight. Snap throw to first. Got him! Matt Nelson steals one. He got T.J. McCants roaming. And Florida State has all the momentum as the Rebels leave the bases juice.
You got the coach's kid on first and one of the best defenders in the country behind home plate, and they just stole one, I think. We'll see if that right hand got back in from McCants because I think they're going to take a look at this. But that is the two of those working together. Tyler Martin timed it perfect. Didn't go too early. Waited until the last moment to get over there. I would assume they'd take a look at it, but that was really well done.
Wow. So under review. Nelson, not really known as a defensive catcher. That would just be a second pickoff of the year if it stands.
Okay, so let me go physics on you a little bit, all right?
Okay.
Watch where the elbow bends. If the elbow's bending, then he's hitting base. Fair? Or I guess it could be hitting foot. But he's hitting base or foot.
Okay. Well, I was going to say that's fair for us. That's not fair for a replay center.
I agree, and it could be his foot. That's what you can't tell right here, but watch this. Elbow starts to bend right about now. See? Mm-hmm. It's already bending, and that's before. Now, I don't know whether the hand is on a foot or is on the base right now, but you can, to me, it looks like he's on one or the other before the tag is there. If that is the best look, I don't see how that's enough to overturn it.
You know, there was a play in the Virginia game earlier today on a pickoff from the mound where the Virginia first baseman was called for obstruction with his leg blocking the bag. Still got him. And even though it took some juice out of the celebration, Florida State still owns momentum. Ole Miss had them loaded, 1 out. They get nothing in. 2, Florida State with the lead over Ole Miss as we go to the bottom of the 6th. If you're looking for North Carolina and Texas Tech, that game will start on ESPN News. We'll get you to Lubbock as soon as we finish here. Carolina, by the way, starting Gage Gillian on the mound after he picked up the save yesterday against UCLA. Desperate times and all that. Here's Elijah Cabell. Jack Leiter's over 100 pitches for Vandy. He's pitching with a 4-1 lead in the 6th inning against Georgia Tech. Nothing in 2. And in Columbia at Founders Park, the 1 seed Old Dominion has the lead on the 2 seed South Carolina, 1-0 in the 4th. 11 strikeouts for Nikhazy tonight. Rain starting to fall. Been like that most of the day. Reached for, got just a piece of it. Dunhurst comes out, hesitates, recovers, got him. A healthy Cabell beats that out. 1 down.
Fair, and I think probably the right choice right here. Dunhurst was going to his knee, so he had to pop all the way up, a little bit confused, then pirouette. Spins, strike to Cale Baker at first to erase Cabell.
Here's Dylan Simmons. Ball and a strike now. Doug Nikhazy now in sole possession of 5th place in the single season Ole Miss strikeout record. Just past Drew Pomerantz. And has a very real chance of surpassing Lance Lynn for the all-time single season record. If not tonight, then should Ole Miss advance. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 12.
Nikhazy was incredibly sharp all night, with the exception of the 5th inning, and responded well when strikeout ended. But in this inning, it's a swing and bunt by Cabell, and then comes back and locks up Simmons with a fastball in on his hands for his 12th strikeout of the night.
Nander DeSatis at the plate. Mentioned that Panama City, Panama native, played his high school ball at Montverde Academy. Mainly known for their basketball talent, Joel Embiid, Cade Cunningham, R.J. Barrett, D'Angelo Russell, Ben Simmons, and on and on and on. But they also had a pretty good baseball player. Not just DeSatis, but a kid by the name of Francisco Lindor. Ball and 2 strikes. Nikhazy ready to work. Great pace. A baker's dozen strikeouts for Doug Nikhazy. It's Doug Day, and he's got 13 Ks. 3-2, the Florida State lead. 2 home runs in the 5th, providing all the offense for the Seminoles after Ole Miss had a 2-0 lead. Nikhazy has matched his career high in strikeouts. Also K 13 against Georgia earlier this year. Kel Baker was at the plate with the bases loaded and 2 out in the 6th when T.J. McCants was picked off first. Nice catch. He's done that before.
Everett.
Two balls and a strike.
So a little inside information here. Blaine Calcagno was a student manager that just ran out and made that play. 58 for 60 on the year on catching balls off the net behind home plate. When I was growing up, going to Omaha Royal games and at the College World Series, it was Chopper in Omaha. And Chopper had earned that nickname well. Chopper did not miss meals. If Chopper made the play, 15,000 people went absolutely bananas. However, if Chopper dropped it, Chopper heard about it. I will never forget Chopper running out to try to catch it off that long net that went all the way up to the press box at Rosenblatt.
I mean, that must have been like Red Panda dropping a bowl.
Oh, you just
can't happen that often.
If Chopper had to run away, the percentages went down. I'll tell you that.
Baker gets a leadoff walk. We got a pinch hitter. It'll be Ben Van Cleve. And Cade Salmons will pinch run for Baker. One on, nobody out. Van Cleve's last hit came against UT Martin on May 18th. He was a starting DH for a good chunk of the season until Elko was injured and then came back from his torn ACL. Update in Lubbock, 2 batters in, a double, and Jace Young's 21st home run of the season. 2-0 Texas Tech, top of the first. We'll get you there as soon as we finish here. Hare getting loose. This is the 4th batter faced by Kwiatkowski. And Mike Martin Jr. is going to make a change with a 1-0 count. Two walks and a strikeout for Kwiatkowski. Back to the pen for Florida State, leading by 1. Phil, we're just going to sleep on the bullpen celebration? What have we got?
Oh, yes.
And I'm feeling it. TCU versus Texas Tech bullpen dance-off. I want to see it.
That's got to be Kirk Sarlo's choreographed right now. That's part of. Oh, that was outstanding.
They'll perform at Billy Bob's later tonight. Cowtown. Davis Hare making his 24th appearance, 1-1 with an ERA just over 3. Van Cleve was hitting with a 1-0 count. That count will be inherited by Leatherwood. We got all sorts of chess pieces being moved around on the board now. Hayden Leatherwood, 7 home runs on the season. He's driven in 33. Florida State goes to the righty out of the pen. And Ole Miss counters with Leatherwood. So both Hare and Leatherwood inherit 1-0 counts. Greg Harmon reminds Hare of the count. The 1-0. Pulled foul. Leatherwood, 5th-year senior from Collierville, Tennessee. Had 4 starts in the SEC tournament, but was just 1 for 10 with 5 strikeouts. And he serves this one to left field. It's down for a knock. Simmons to second. Ole Miss has 2 on with nobody out in a 1-run game.
Didn't get a lot of it, but got enough of it. Hayden Leatherwood in, takes a fastball that was probably down and off the plate. And just fillets it to left in front of Elijah Cabell. So leadoff walk. Now a single by the pinch hitter Leatherwood, and Ole Miss will turn the lineup over with 2 on and nobody out.
Hare has allowed 1 run in 3 of his last 4 appearances, coming against ACC foes Notre Dame, Clemson, and NC State. We'll give a look back to Simmons. Mike Bianco has already used 3 bench players here in the 7th. Chatnier flinched at it. The Ole Miss second baseman is over to a couple of pop-ups in this one. They've gone final in Knoxville. Tennessee knocked off Liberty 9-3. Volunteers 1 win away from the Supers. It'll be Liberty and Duke in the 1-1 game to start action tomorrow in Knoxville. Curveball in the dirt, blocked by Nelson.
See how when Nelson goes down, and you see a lot of younger catchers and some older catchers, I guess, too, that we use the glove and try to catch it. He wasn't trying to catch it with the glove. He was just trying to make sure that the baseball couldn't go between his legs. The glove is just there for defense, not to catch it. The intent is to block it.
Does a good job with his chest. And 2-1. See what Hare comes with here. 2 on, nobody out. Missed it low. That one got underneath Nelson, but didn't leave the dirt. And that saved 90 feet.
Yeah, I think Greg Harmon saved 90 feet right there. I think that one got the home plate umpire. It didn't go anywhere. Now 10,000 strong are on their feet at Swayze.
Pulled to the left side. Chopper for Lacey to second for one, on to first, and they go 5-4-3. Salmons ends up at third, but there are two down here in the seventh.
That'll change an inning right there. 3-1, everybody on their feet. Fastball with enough sink that Chatinier rolls over it. Lacey with a good feed to Green and a good feed to Martin. 5-4-3. And now Florida State a pitch away from getting out of this inning unscathed.
Florida State came in with a very pedestrian defensive personality, but they have turned two double plays tonight and picked off a runner to end an inning. Freshman Jacob Gonzalez now 1-0.
Gonzalez does something that it almost reminds me of Ichiro a little bit, to where the weight comes forward but the hips don't open. And you'll see his weight move forward, but his hands stay back and the hips don't open. And it gives him even more time to make a decision as to whether or not he's going to swing. He's not worried about getting beat with a fastball. And if you do that, you've got no ego at the plate. If you got an ego, you're selling out trying to pull that thing because you're worried about getting beat with a fastball, and he is not. And it gives him a better look at more pitches.
It's the most talk about hips I've heard without mentioning Shakira. 3-0. Salmon's a runner at third in a one-run game, and off the plate a 4-pitch walk. And how big is that double play now? Here's the local hero Tim Elko playing on a torn ACL. Grand Slam changed the game yesterday. In a high leverage situation in the seventh in this one. And we're not so sure that Hare's going to get a chance to throw to him.
Looks like Scalara, the left-hander, who's up. I would bet Hare stays in here. Bet you want Hare to face Elko, and then if Elko reaches, you make a decision on Graham. I don't know if you have any advantage left or right against Graham. The way that we've seen him handle left-handers, he's got 2 hits against left-handers tonight. But the one you got to worry about now is Tim Elko, who hit the grand slam last night and has not been slowed by a torn ACL.
Elko has been better against lefties and righties this season. 385 versus 307. Since coming back from a torn ACL, which remains torn and unfixed to this point, he has homered 6 times. Two-0. Gonzalez takes off for second on the pitch in the dirt. 6 in a row out of the zone for Hare. After Elko, it's his roommate Kevin Graham. They both have 14 home runs. 2-1. Three home runs allowed by Hare his last 3 outings. Now 3-1. Headband working overtime.
Yes, I hope he brought reinforcements.
Ground ball. DeSadas throws it high, and he threw it away. Ole Miss has tied the game, and now they've taken the lead. Third error of the game for Florida State.
And this is one for DeSatis. You just don't know who hit it because you got so much more time with Elko. First of all, tied him up so he doesn't get out of there. But secondly, with a torn ACL, he's just not going to run. You can take 2 or 3 steps on this throw. And for DeSatis, he speeds it up, stands straight up, and then throws it right over the top of Tyler Martin. Somebody has to be yelling, or in this case, there has to be a reminder as to who's running in this spot because DeSatis, watch this, it's as quick as he can make a transfer, and there is zero need to do it with Elko running. Instead, ball sails high, and Ole Miss has the lead.
And now Graham. He could have run it over there. Tim Elko said, listen, I can run a little bit on a torn ACL. You just can't run a lot. To the right side. He'll take the force on Elko. But the third error of the game for Florida State allows Ole Miss to take the lead. It's a 4-3 game as we stretch in Oxford. You're watching the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Florida State's defense give it and take it away. 3 errors tonight after 2 double plays and a runner picked off with the bases loaded to end the inning. Nander DeSatis commits his 17th error and it leads to tying and go-ahead runs. Calvin Harris has entered the game at first base for Ole Miss. And it's Cade Salmons in right field. So Harris will hit in the 9-hole. Here's Jackson Green. 1 for 2. Green committed the first of the 3 Florida State errors tonight when he misplayed a ground ball from Kevin Graham in the opening frame, which led to a run. He also had a wild pitch in that inning. Nikhazy, man, he's got some momentum now. He's pitching right out of that jersey. 108 pitches. He's ahead in the count, 0-2. He's struck out 4 of the last 5 since the Lacey home run. Green goes down swinging. Strikeout number 14. Let's find out what's going on elsewhere in the ACC. Here's Bill with Notre Dame. That is insane.
That's a 1-0-1-0 game.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you'll see those numbers from 2 teams that have lost in the opener. We saw a few of those today. You don't see them ever in a 1-0-1-0 game.
Nikhazy is dialed in. Trying to get back at Perry, who hit a 2-strike home run while choked up for his first career home run in the 5th. To get Florida State on the board. Lacey followed 2 batters later with a 2-run home run. That's pretty. 0-2. Nikhazy's season high in pitches is 122. That came at Mississippi State on April 17th. Strike 3, strikeout number 15, a new career high for Doug Nikhazy.
This is the one he's gone too late. Both strikeouts in the inning on a big breaking curveball. He's now punched out 4 in a row. Lucchese's got it going, and he can throw that one wherever and whenever he wants to right now.
He is 1 strikeout away from the Ole Miss single game record. And he's also 1 strikeout away from tying Scott Biddle for the single season 4th place spot on the record list. One and 1 to Tyler Martin. The single game record of 16 strikeouts was first set by Robert Earl Seidel in 1962, matched by Jamie Price in 95 and Drew Pomerantz in 2009.
So when he started the night, he was 20th in the country in strikeouts. Now he's 5th. That's a good evening.
He has struck out 4 straight for the 2nd time tonight. Tyler Martin's got a couple of hits, and he slices this one foul. Pardon me, he's got a single, and he reached on an error in the 5th.
You wrote it down too, didn't you?
I did write it down as a hit. Payoff pitch. Got him. Strikeout number 16.
Have a night, Doug Lucchese. Gives up a 3 spot in the 5th, and since then he struck out 2, 4, 7 of the next 8 that he has faced. Struck out the side in the 7th, 16 in the game. To the 8th in Oxford, Ole Miss leads it by 1.
I think Phil Young following what his older brother did, trying to get Texas Tech back to Omaha, just like Jace did. And first pitch from Hare into Justin Bench in for a strike, 0-1. At the knees for strike 2. East Carolina has taken the lead on Charlotte, 7-5 Pirates. Late in Greenville. That one is swing and a miss. Nelson couldn't find it, and Bench will hustle his way down the line.
Bench just wasn't seeing that one. Bounced out in front of home plate. We've seen this a few times from Nelson where that ball gets just far enough that time. And if you look the wrong way as a catcher to start, then you can see the panic set in. He looked left instead of right. The ball went off towards the first base side, and a strikeout's as good as a single right there.
Update, that is a final in Greenville. 13th seed East Carolina comes behind to knock off Charlotte 7-5. McCants up the middle, chance for 2. Hare to DeSantis for 1. On to Martin. When they're good, they're really good. When they're bad, they give away runs. 3rd double play tonight.
Just off the end of the bat right here from McCants. And honestly, this is one to whether Hare gloves it or whether he lets it go. It goes right to DeSantis, and he's standing on the bag. About as tailor-made as you can have one right now.
Well, here's what we're talking about when Florida State has not been good defensively, and it started in the 1st inning tonight just like it did for them yesterday.
4 runs tonight for Ole Miss, 3 have been unearned. 1 was in the 1st. This one gets away 2 runs would score, but it was a wild pitch that had advanced the base runners just before that. Then to the 7th, this would have ended the inning with Elko running. Instead, Nando de Seda speeds up the arm path. That one sails high, and Ole Miss takes the lead.
Here's Hayden Dunhurst, who looks at a first pitch strike. Mike Bianco just called him over before he went to the plate, and I wonder if he was trying to get him to buy some time if they're going to send Nikhazy back out there.
Well, I was thinking the same thing. It was either send Nikhazy back out or, and I didn't see who was up in the bullpen. My assumption is if it's anybody, it's Broadway. But give Nikhazy a little extra time or give the bullpen a little bit extra time. Second pitch is rolled over. It's a quick 8th for Davis-Harris.
I'll let you know what they do. Looks like they're going to the pen in a 1-run lead. Tonight's Capital One rewarding performance comes courtesy of Doug Nikhazy and his curveball. He strikes out a career high 16. Everything was working for the Ole Miss ace.
7 innings, had at least 2 strikeouts in every innings tonight. Punched out the side in the 7th, struck out the side in the 2nd. All 3 pitches working for Nikhazy, and aside from a few fastballs he missed with, and that was really it. Perry ran into one for a solo home run. Lacey did for a 2-run home run. Besides that, Nikhazy was locked in all night.
He is done for the night. He'll hand the ball off to Taylor Broadway, who retired all 5 batters he faced in Ole Miss's opening day win against SEMO. 27th appearance on the season for Broadway. He went back-to-back at Georgia on May 20th and 21st. He pitched twice in one day at South Carolina. In fact, that was also a back-to-back. And he went back-to-back against Auburn on March 19th and 20th, back-to-back against Belmont. This is not uncharted territory for Broadway. Logan Lacey in the 2-hole looks at a first pitch curveball for a strike. Lacey 2-run home run in the 5th. He is homered in 3 consecutive games. He asked for time, and he will finally get it. Lacey is not a patient hitter. Only 15 walks drawn this season. Dunhurst wanted it, didn't get it. 1-1. Check swing and a fastball up. Casey Moser does not care to wait for our cameras to cut to him. He answers the appeal immediately. It's 1-2. Curveball in the dirt. 2-2. The 5th inning home run for Lacey was his 9th of the year. Full count.
Take. Real good take right there.
It's a different story, but what Lacey is doing growing up as a Florida State fan and getting on a tear in the postseason is somewhat reminiscent of what Tim Becker did 2 years ago. Ground ball to short. Gonzalez. 1 down. Let's get to the studio. Here's Phil. What a scene.
Look at that place. Oh, it is so good. Huskers are good now, too. That's going to be – it wouldn't shock me if those two teams play 3 times this weekend.
Here's Matt Nelson, tied for the national lead in home runs with 23, but he's 0 for 3 tonight with 3 strikeouts. Nikhazy, by the way, struck out all 9 Seminoles in the lineup at least once on his way to 16 Ks before leaving for Broadway.
They're not biting on that slider yet. Lacey took a few good ones. Nelson takes one right there.
Matt Nelson, the ACC Player of the Year. Right through the 5-hole on Dunhurst. Can't believe that got through. The 2-2. Dribbler up the middle. Here's Gonzalez. Took his time. 2 down.
His internal clock is such an advanced internal clock, especially for a freshman shortstop. Gonzalez just knows how much time he has. With Lacey running, flipped it over to first base, knowing that he didn't have to let it go. That time sped it up a little bit more, but knew that Nelson was not a plus runner.
Here's Robbie Martin. He's 0 for 3. Couple of strikeouts for Martin with a pop-up tonight. Yes, this game is in Oxford, but Florida State is the home team on the scoreboard. This is the bottom of the 8th. And the cleanup hitter Martin at the plate. Up the middle. Kick. Gonzalez. Bare hands. Yes! Got him! If you like great defense, take another look at this play from Jacob Gonzalez, the freshman shortstop.
Having any kid. Kick, save, and a beauty. Now we got a bare hand, and he's got one chance to make the play. Martin lays out. Gonzalez, all 3 outs in the inning, 3 different ways, and that's a freshman All-American right there.
The NCAA Baseball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
That's Shane Sanford manning David Dillard's grill. You know it's a big grill when you hook it up your truck and you pull it down the street. Our crew well fed this week in Oxford. 1-run game, top of the 9th. Gage Salmon's at the plate. Davis Hare still on the mound for Florida State. The building is abuzz thanks to fantastic defense of Jacob Gonzalez. First at bat for Salmons. He entered as a pinch runner in the 7th. And he's quickly down in the count, 0-2. Three pitches to take care of Salmons. One out, and Calvin Harris will come to the plate for the first time. Mike Bianco went to his bench for 3 different players in the 7th inning, and that ended up bringing a run across. And eventually, Ole Miss would take the lead on an errant throw from the shortstop Nander DeSatos. Two-0 pitch. Grounded to the mound. Hare's got it. 2 down. Peeking ahead to the Florida State ninth, they do have some options off the bench, but they'll lead with raw power and Elijah Cabell. Then Simmons and DeSatos are both due up. Peyton Chatinier 0 for 3. It's an Ole Miss team that is 32-1 when leading after 8 innings this season. Into the FSU dugout. And a Florida State team which is 0-15 when trailing heading into the ninth. Winner goes to the regional championship tomorrow night. The losing team gets Southern Miss in an elimination game tomorrow afternoon. Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Nelson will throw down to finish the strikeout. And that takes us to the bottom of the ninth. It's a 1-run game. Florida State trailing on the road. Bottom of the ninth, Florida State is the home team on the scoreboard, but they are the visitors in front of 10,830 tonight in Oxford. Number 12 national seed Rebels of Ole Miss looking to move to the regional final tomorrow night and trying to hold on to a 1-run lead. Tom Hart with Kyle Peterson. Ole Miss has Taylor Broadway on the mound. It's a devastating combination when they go from Doug Nikhazy to Taylor Broadway. It's the third time they've done it. In the previous 2 instances, Nikhazy straight to Broadway. 2 Rebel wins, only 1 combined earned run in those 18 innings. Elijah Cabell can hit the ball a long, long way, but he is 0 for 3 tonight. Nothing in 2. Swing and a miss on the curveball. 1 down in the ninth.
Two curveballs and a cutter this at bat to Cabell. The last time curveball to start, cutter for strike 2, and it comes right back with a curveball to strike him out.
Wyatt Crowell will hit. Four Ks and 5 groundouts for Broadway of the 9 batters he's faced over the last 2 nights. Crowell fouls off 94. Nothing in 2. 5 extra base hits for Crowell this season. He has yet to homer. Crowell, a two-way guy, has a handful of starts both as a designated hitter and playing some center field. Last pitched in the NC State series. Here's the 1-2. Broadway wastes one up and away, 2-2. Swing and a miss, a 93, back-to-back Ks for Broadway.
It was breaking ball heavy to Cabell, then fastball heavy to Crowell right here. Finishes him with 93 down the middle, 3 groundouts in the 8th. Now 2 strikeouts in the 9th. Ole Miss 1 out away from starting 2-0 and a win away from Super.
Another pinch hitter for Florida State. This is Nico Baldor, who started in center field in game 1. What a scene. Baldor 0 for 3 game 1. Nothing in 1. Nothing in 2. Broadway to Baldor. Game over. Ole Miss 2-0 in the regional. They had to throw down to finish off the strikeout, and it was closer than it should have been. But Broadway K's the side in the 9th. Well, we're going to look at this play at first.
Looks like we're not done yet.
If it stands, it's the 19th. Well, it's a 19th strikeout regardless whether he's safe.
Yeah. Whether he's out or not, that's 19 punch-outs. Broadway comes in, goes ground ball, ground ball, ground ball in the 8th. Then 3 strikeouts in the 9th. We will see. Dunners took some time right there. I think he got it. Baldor laid out. It's whether or not that left hand got to first base before the ball hit the back of Calvin Harris's glove. That's not enough to overturn.
No, it's not. The body beat the ball, but the angle does not show us if the hand was on the bag. Because the right hand looked wide of the bag.
Even though he's doing a game right now, Chris Burke is yelling at the TV saying if you just run through first base right there, you're safe. And the other thing is if you run through first base, it's tougher for the first baseman to make the play.
Remember, the same thing happened with Robbie Martin in the 8th on the ground ball that Gonzalez made the fine play on. He's a second Seminole to try and dive into the bag, and you can just run through it. Best look we got. Here it is.
That's a better one, and he's out.
Ball is deemed caught when it hits leather.
He is out. Strikeouts on the night. At least 2 strikeouts in 8 of 9 innings, and that'll do it. Ole Miss wins it. They'll head to tomorrow 2-0.
Nikhazy goes to 10-2 with the win. Hare takes the loss to fall to 1-2, and Broadway picks up his 15th save, second in as many nights. Broadway has been perfect out of the pen. We'll get you started tomorrow, 2 Eastern, Florida State, Southern Miss, and then Ole Miss awaits the winner. Time to get you to love it. Here's Dave Neal. Florida State will have to take on Southern Miss to try and advance, but Broadway was sensational. And now North Carolina and Texas Tech, and now Dave Neal.